Hey there guys, SD again. So this time I'm going to show off how I do my materials, plus show off how I paint them accurately to the source. So what I'm going to showcase specifically for this part are just the skin and gear shaders, not hair, eyes, or the face. Because that's a little bit more complex to explain for just a couple reasons. So let me just put these away. Don't really need them yet. Get the hair out. Okay. So now I just have the gear pieces and the skin. What I usually do is I go back to the textures folder, change it to view by details, and create a new folder called convert. So I use the convert folder to convert a couple of the textures that I know I'll use. So I'm eventually going to need to use Sonya's facial textures, so I just copy and paste these and just put them in the convert folder because I don't want to overwrite the original files. You know, obviously depending on your hard drive, this can go either slow or fast. But now with this part, I just need the gears and the skin. So it's gear 1. I usually just grab all of the versions. You don't really need to do that all the time. Some skins are some gear pieces have multiples while they have single parts to them. It's usually for alternate materials. I'm just going to be doing the base material, so Sun Gear 18 is what I need. That's the wrist launchers. Is that what they're called? Don't remember. Doesn't matter. Put that there. Now I need her hat. No, her hat material was A. The B material is that one. See, like some gear pieces like this one only have one rather than any alternate skins. Now I just need the skin. Since I'm not doing the turret, I don't need C. Skin A. I know I'll need to use her hair later, so let me get these two textures out of the way. Okay, and everything is here. It's a lot of textures, so I go back to Noesis over here, go to the Sonya example, go back to textures, and go to my convert folder. Everything is in here. Now I just need to batch convert these into TGA. Once again, I have the output path in a separate folder, separate text file, I mean, right here, TGA, right, folder bash, and export. There are a lot of textures, a lot of 4K textures, some 2K, a couple 1K. Just like last time, this is gonna take a couple of minutes, maybe 1 or 2 at best, since you're not dealing with 160 meshes. It won't take too long, I think. Alright, batch process complete. Now I can go ahead and close that. Now one more layer of organization. Go back here and now I make a new folder for each texture got. Sun face, because I have multiples of her face. Then here, put in Sun gear, put them all here. Sun hair, I should have gotten the other ones too, but it doesn't really matter that much. And now Sun skin A. This is just for organization, you don't necessarily need to do this. So I take this out and put these back in the texture file, and I can go ahead and remove the convert folder. Nice. Can I not shift delete? Okay. Regular delete then. So everything should be here, all fine and dandy. You can go back to Blender, and now I'm going to give Sonya a basic material setup. It's nothing really too complex. If you're wondering why each mesh here is separated individually, it's because the XNA format separates everything by material, and MK11 models usually have more than one material, usually related to cloth, silk, velvet, and skin shader. Oh, emissions are separate as well, but I don't really need to make them all that separate. So I'm going to go into the shader editor. I'm going to just select one part specifically, and that'll be used for the entire shader. I can go ahead and delete these. You don't really need the XNA materials. Put in the principled BSDF shader. So you go here into, it's white, that's okay. Now let's import a couple of textures. Couple models, Sonya example. I'm doing her skin, so skin A. I'm going to import this, this, and this. I'll explain which each of them does in a little bit. Sun skin A is the diffuse texture. If I were to go on flat and texture, you can't really see them here because unfortunately they have this alpha channel that's only, I think, 100% white on the skin. That's the subsurface scattering mask in the alpha channel. But if you go into the material view, put base color, it's also black. Once again, alpha channel. So what you want to do is change the alpha to channel packed, and now you can see the diffuse just fine. You don't necessarily need it because the skin is separated by different materials, but you know, I'm not one to really modify the original textures. You can change that out and put in the RMA texture here. You need to separate RGB. Okay, so RMA means roughness, metalness, and ambient occlusion. The thing is, this is an evolution from Injustice 2's material system. There is no actual roughness texture in there, it's the emission texture. I'm not sure why they chose to do it this way. So in here is the emission, this is metalness. You can go ahead and put that here, the green channel. And the blue channel is ambient occlusion, so you can skip this step because you don't necessarily need to do this if you plan to use cycles only. But for EV specifically, I tend to use the ambient occlusion texture. By the way, set the color space in non-color. Color invert. Mix shader. What is it? Mix shader. Okay. Put that in here. You don't really necessarily need to put anything in here, but I do it as a fallback. Wrong thing. Diffuse BSDF. Black. Roughness 100%. Alright. So as you can see, the ambient occlusion is now applied onto the albedo, or the base color if you want to call it that. Okay, now there's one more texture we need to apply. Now also as a fallback, since there's no emission on this anyways, I'm just gonna put this here just in case, because I'm gonna reuse it for the gear pieces, and put the red channel over here. Okay, now to apply the normal map. Might want to put this as non-color as well. You're going to use a different setup here. You also have to separate RGB channels. Invert the green channel because this is an OpenGL renderer, not a DirectX renderer. So it's Y plus, while DirectX is Y minus. So, well, not really DirectX specifically. Unreal Engine is Y minus. Okay, vector, normal map, and apply. Normal maps are applied. You might as well put in every other normal channel. And now you should go ahead and make this a node group. Forgot the hotkey for it. Yeah. Call this normal invert. Just to clean it up a bit. And the roughness is located in the neural maps alpha channel. We put that over here. Leave these values alone. Specular tint, sheen tint, isotropic, whatever. You don't really need them. So just leave them as is. What I do last is I use this as the material name. Apply it to everything else now. One by one. Okay. There. That's fine. No problems here. Nothing is conflicting with anything. Okay. Now I'll do the same thing for the gear, but I'll be reusing this setup, which is why I say it's important to keep it small and simple for now. You don't want to make this too complex right about now. Go ahead and hide that. This is gear B001. So go back here, gear B01. This also has a alpha channel, even though it's not being used. Set that to channel packed. Get the RMA texture, non-color, then the normal map, non-color. Alright, as you can see, there's the emission texture being used here. To show it off more clearly, let me raise the strength to 5 and have that be red or whatever other color. Once again, use that as the material name, apply it on the next material. Alright, there's that. Now for the last thing I'm applying materials to here is the hat, or at least part of the hat. Go back here. Gear, color 01, channel packed, RNA, and then the normal map. Alright. Once again, let's copy and paste the name here and put that here. Alright, we partially got a completely textured model. Everything is as it should be. Also, I'm not sure if you can see that, but there's this little issue happening here. Yeah, the MK11 models once imported are very huge, and because of that they cull out a lot easily, a lot faster than smaller models. And to fix that, I just changed the clip start to 1 meter. No errors anymore. Now here comes the slowest part. We got the materials done, but everything is white. The models aren't white in MK11, they're colored. So now I'm going to show off how I color these models. First, let me just demonstrate something here. You see these little CPT textures here? Those mean color palette. And these first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 textures are the first 7 skins, default colors. Everything else are alternatives, or alternative colors. Jeez, why does that sound like that? I'm looking for her default skin color, so this is the one I need right here. Yep, okay. You should export this as Targa if you also don't have a DDS plugin for, let's say, GIMP or Photoshop. I do, so I don't really need to convert that, because for some reason this works fine, but the other textures don't. So I'm gonna open this into GIMP. It's gonna take a couple of seconds. Right, okay. Now let me explain something real quick. MK11 models have 5 colors applied onto them, okay? The first row over here are the colors for the skin. Everything at the bottom are for the gears. Some characters have more, how do I say this, varied selections. Like over here, this is just for the skin only. This is down here for the gear only. Pay attention to that, because certain parts of your model will have, you know, varied textures that don't seem like they fit in with the skin, but they in fact do, because their gear colors are at the bottom. Conversely, when I say they're separated into 5 different colors, I mean 5 different color ranges. So I think there'd be like 1 over here. Hold on. This is 1 range. Then the next one, next one, that's 4. And then these last 2 are used in between. I'm pretty sure. I need to probably check that again, but that's most likely the case half the time. So I'm going to do the skin first, so I'll import that to GIMP, import the ID, and import tone. Let me explain this. Okay, so like I said before, the albedo, or the base texture, has an alpha channel, that alpha channel being the subsurface scattering mask. You could keep that as is, and just for the other layer, after you duplicate it, you can remove the alpha channel, delete layer mask, and this is how the texture normally looks. The ID texture contains the ranges for micro maps and the color ranges. So if I were to go over here, color, components, extract components, the red channel is what determines the micro maps, like micro normals, micro albedo textures, and then the blue channel are the color maps. This decides what color goes where. I need the blue texture because all I'm doing is coloring just for this one. I'll do micros later. Copy this, put that over here below the albedo. Now this one is the detail map. It basically overlays the main colors with tertiary and secondary colors that add a bit more detail. The red channel has nothing in it. The green channel is what you'll need to use most of the time. The blue channel I still haven't found a use for. I think that's the contact ambient occlusion map. I'm not too sure. But this is what I need. Copy and paste this. Duplicate this. Add layer mask. I put the tone texture here. Duplicate that again. Duplicate it again. This one I invert the layer mask. Duplicate that again. So now you're gonna end up using 5 different textures to color the model. This is the primary. These are secondary, and then these are tertiary colors. If you wanted to be more accurate, you'd use a lot more. I stick to 5 because that's what I find easiest and provides the most accurate results without having to go completely accurate. This process will not get you 100% accurate results. At best, maybe 90%, because certain characters have more detailed things going on with their models. Like Kodo Khan has his feathers that are a lot more detailed. Anyways, so the albedo here you want to overlay on top. You want to select these color ranges if it makes it easier. Just check them out over here. Use your color selection tool. Hold on, I forgot where mine was. Why can't I remember all of a sudden? Wait. Select by color. Alright. You want to have a very low threshold. Select the black parts first because you're going to need to edit the alpha channel now for the first layer. Let me explain. So the darkest areas, the complete black parts, are not colored whatsoever. They are overridden. So to make sure that's the case, I edit the alpha channel and make those parts white. Select none. Oh, and by the way, I'm not sure how you could, but I'm positive you can do the same thing in Photoshop. I just prefer to use GIMP because I've been using GIMP for years. I never bought Photoshop, so it's just what I do. So yeah, you'll end up with your alpha channel looking like this now. It should look like that. And then the albedo goes here. And then all the other colors go here. So now what I'm going to do is export that. Put that in final textures. Skin A. Alright, export. No compression. Go back to Blender. Back to image editor and select this skin. I want to make sure it's this one and replace it with this one. Now you can truly visualize where each color goes. You need to kind of see this because it's a lot more difficult just eyeballing it, because I can't make a shader in Blender that makes this a lot more automatic, a lot more easier and all that. It's complicated because this is a lot more advanced than Injustice 2's was. So I'm doing it this way. It's a very long process, so I'll see how I can do this without losing my sanity. Alright, so here's where I start. I select the darkest areas because that's usually where the first color comes in. red. This red color doesn't go here, I'm pretty sure. Hold on. Why would it be red? So now I'm confused. Why would it be red? So I'm gonna go back to desktop right here. I have reference pictures I've screenshotted of Sonya just to see what's up here. I need to get the bottom of her boots, so let me go here. Right, that's just a very darkish bluish gray. So let me go back now. Okay, so it's like one of these. I think it's either this or this. I'm gonna go with my gut and say it's this one. So I select this color, and then I select either the 5th or the 4th color. Doesn't really matter, but stay in that range. I'll put in one color over here, fill it with this color. Now choose the ones that are on top. So I usually count by 4, so 1, 2, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now I'm in the next range here, so I'll take this color, and I'll take this color. After that, apply this, apply that, and now I get the color in between for the last and final layer. So that's 4, 4. So it's either one of these two, this or this. I'll choose the lighter one. And there. Hold on a second. Now you can't really see the difference that well since it's so dark. Let's export anyways and see what's up. Wow. I don't remember it being so dark the first time I did this. I mean, I'm honestly not even sure if you would notice that too well. Really. I guess it's okay. Besides that, let's just keep on going from here. We find out which area is also the next darkest color. That would be her jacket over here. So we find that. And here is the silk color. That here. Okay, hold on one second. Why would it be that? Okay, I did this wrong here. Okay, so usually it's easy to follow, but unfortunately due to my own intuition, kind of messed up. Because the next color would have been this actually. So the boots would have been this color, the bottom of the boots, the treads, and then the jacket would have been this color. Because check it out, if I were to do this the same way, go here. Okay. 1, 2. And then the color in between 4, 4. Okay, export that. And there. I'd say that's fairly close. Right. Let me go check in. Yeah. Okay. Pretty much. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and check this part out. Because if it's completely dark like that, then that means there isn't really going to be much of a visibility issue. I just want to know if I'm wrong here. It's red. Oh, pinkish red, really. 4, 4. Okay. Four. I got this brownish color here. I mean, it's not wrong. It just doesn't look right. But it's not necessarily wrong. Because I'm looking at my reference images and it's like, it is really hard to tell, honestly. Hold on. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of there, I guess. Let's see how it looks in the materials. Yeah. Okay, so let me just straight up say that there's gonna be a lot of trial and error. Some things will look right, some things won't look right. It's okay. You can always restart this because you'll have the original textures. I'm not perfect. I just try my best to make it look accurate to the material as I can. It doesn't mean I can't. Alright? Because most of the time it's just reference material that I'm looking at. But it doesn't matter. We got the jacket, now to get the rest of it all. So once again, I find the darkest color over here, which would be her pants. I would go to the next color range, which would be after the silk jacket. So this is completely done. This is done. So that's this one, which makes more sense. Again, you don't necessarily need to follow my process. I just prefer doing this, even if it takes a while to get, accurate results. The point is that if you're trying to do similar things to me, you understand that you're going to need to dedicate some amount of time to get somewhat accurate results. Like I said, if you want even more accurate results, you'd use a lot more layers and just use every single color here, but I don't think anybody's going to do that. There's the pants done. Let's find the next darkest color. That would be her shirt, pretty much. Yep, that's her shirt. So let's find that area as well. Should be around here, I think. Yeah, right here. Okay. This. Back. Get the fifth color. For this one. For the mid color, that, and there you go. Okay, so now that leaves us a couple more colors to fill in. All right. I'm gonna hide these two so I can easily figure out which color is the next darkest color. Gonna put this back here. Export that again. Reload. Refresh. Okay. Next darkest color are her straps, it seems like. So get that back on. Right. So it should be this one, I think, or this one. They're very similar in colors. I'm sure most people wouldn't really notice the difference too well. I hope that's the case anyways. You know, I should have started off with Scorpion, because that's a lot more. It's not as hard to separate his colors. It's not as difficult is what I'm trying to say. Export that. Let's check out. There's that. Okay. So I want to make one slight little edit here for the jacket. So I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna fill up the secondary area with lighter colors, just for better contrast. It doesn't matter because this is silk, and I'll show you what's up with that in a second. Not in a second, in like a couple minutes from now. It's hard to notice the difference, really. Just making sure. Next darkest color is basically her leather. Here, here, here. I think that's pretty much it, unless this counts. I'm not too sure. This is an area I think I need to pay attention to. What's the next color after this one? Huh. Okay. 1 second. Let's remove all the detail and go into the flat colors. Load. This seems to be darker. Okay. Right. So this is the darkest color here, I think. Or is it this one? Go orthographic. I think this is a lot darker. Let me see which color comes first. There's this, and then there's... Okay. I see what I got. No problem, no problem. Alright. So this color comes first. I need to figure out where that is. I'm not exactly sure. So wrong one. Let me select this, this. Select by faces, actually. This, that. Just as much as I can to see where it goes. Where? UV editor. Okay. So the most visible one I can spot is right here. Yeah, okay, I see which color it is now. Go back here, new detail again, and now let's get the leather textured. Back here. Four. Let me use this one instead. Once again for better contrast. And then again for here. Export. Let's check it out. Okay, there's that. The leather covered. Now I need to get this down. So that's the next color is metal. This is the metal color, by the way. And now I need to figure out where the metal is located. So, for some reason, you would have expected this color next. This is supposed to be the red area, so this would have been over here. But wait, am I looking at this wrong? Because I got the letter color that was darker, so then it's this one, and then there's, oh wait, yeah, okay, I think I got it now. I need to get this red area here. There's a couple of red spots on her skin here. So that's a separate metal color I was talking about then. Wrong one. Okay. So it's all the way down here. Right. Select that. Right there. Okay. The reddish areas. By the way, it's okay to skip around if you're, you know, messing up or anything. You know, I did that the first time. I wasn't supposed to, and I confused myself. Don't try and confuse yourself. This isn't a complicated process, really. This is as easy as you make it. Just make sure you have a lot of time, because it can take a while. And there's that. Plus over here. I think that's pretty much it. Right. Now to get the metal. So let me see where that's located on the UV, or belt buckle specifically. Over here. Okay. Go back to camp. Select that. Now to get her metal colored. It's not these. Okay. I also did one more mistake again. Like I said, don't skip around, because then you'll confuse yourself a little bit more. So it was the metal that was before this one. Because it's darker, so you think, hey, let me get the color before it. But apparently that's not the case all the time. It's all good. See, I already know how Sonya's skin looks like from the top of my head, so I don't really need to look at the reference as much. But let's say you're someone who has to, you know, just go ahead and do that. It's a lot slower. I'm trying to do this as fast as I can. Export that. Alright, shader enter, reload. It's colored in. Okay, what else is next? That leaves the knee pads. And hold on. Knee pads or boots? I think it's the boots actually. So let me get that. After the red color, here comes the boots. I honestly wish I could just like select an entire palette so I wouldn't have to keep on going back and forth. But it's not as, you know, not to be as easy as that apparently. So let's keep on going. Nearly done anyways. Alright, there's that. Export, check it out. Got the boots down. You know, honestly, I might change this back. It just doesn't look right to me. Alright. To get the knee pad, or I think it's the same color actually. Yeah. Okay. So after this, actually, I gotta get that little strap. Where is that in UV? B. It's back again. It's L. Okay. The other right here. Okay. Back here. Select that. To the yellow. From here. This color. For this over here. Alright, 4, 4. Got that covered. Shader editor. Reload. There's that. Now this leaves a couple more areas nearly done. I might need to take a break after this actually. So it's just that. It's a couple of parts really. So this is darker. Then there's also this. Well, what's that exactly? These are two separate things. There's this area, and there's this. Let me hide these guys real quick. Alright. This is separate from this, it seems like. And this is the final color. Huh. Hold on a second. So this would go first then. Yeah, that's darker. These little areas here. I think that's another piece of metal. Yeah, most likely. So I can use this area now. Oh wait, no wonder. I already got that part done. I just realized because the other parts are selected here. Wait, are they? No. This was the belt buckle. And then there's this area. Ooh. See, this is one issue. If you can't see contrast too well, you can really mess up yourself. Yeah, I think I already got that part. Let me check one more time. Cause I feel like it's a different area. So here's this, and then there's a different color. Yeah, no, I didn't. Alright. It's a different color entirely. So let me go back. Filled that. This one. Here. 4, 4. This color, and then, hold on, let me go all the way over here. Get this one too. And the color in between over here. Export. Okay. How are we looking right now? Oh wow, there's the dog tags. Of course, can't really see the difference from that too well. Okay, next darkest area. So this would be, I think, pads. Yeah, it's also leather. So 1, 2. That. Four. Start from here this time, so I can see some better contrast. It's distracting, really. Like, the colors blend in a little too well sometimes. It really doesn't help. 4, 4, Maybe I should get a new monitor. Okay. There's that. Okay. So we got most of the skin done. I just need to get the fabric areas. Okay. It's completely white. Bring back detail. I don't think there's any other colors after this one though, that's the thing. Huh. Okay, well let's improvise. Let's go back here. Just dark. Okay. I think it would have been these actually. Maybe I might have skipped around accidentally. Not too sure. But they're dark, so let's find the darkest area we got here that makes sense. I'm gonna go back over here, use the same colors. See, there's stuff like that that you shouldn't have to do normally. Like, if you're good at interpreting certain colors, you know, you don't need to worry about this. Unfortunately for me, I can't really see that well. You kind of just blend in so easily. It's hard to really see the difference. It's distracting, really. But that's no problem. What matters is it's at least close to accurate. Okay, export that. I mean, you know, that's close enough, right? Okay. I still don't agree with what's going on down here, but, you know, it's all good, really. No issues there. Over here seems completely fine. Alright. Something seems to be off-colored. Let me go back at the reference again. Yeah, I mean, you know, mostly everything is here. Once again, I don't think her boots were necessarily that red in the original screenshots. He mostly got it. Doesn't seem to be anything too wrong. Honestly, might just change this out to a more appropriate color. Because you don't need to follow this 100%. Like, what matters to me is I can get something close enough to an accurate model. And it clearly works because some people ask me, how do I get this so accurate looking? Well, I mean, it's just this process. You know, just because it's distracting me a lot, I might as well just change it. So back here again, back on the boot, let's go back, since this is one of the darker colors. Let's just excuse this as a color override, right? Do the same thing over again. For here. See, the thing is, like, some characters are a lot more straightforward than others. You'll have easily recognizable contrasting colors, and then some characters will have like two of the same ones. You know, it makes it really hard to really figure out. You see, this looks better now. It's not as distracting as it was before. Okay. Now, final thing I need to do is save, so the next time we want to do some edits, we don't lose the original file. Once again, you can do this in either Photoshop or some other program you're a lot more comfortable with, I assume anyways. Anything that can handle alpha channels and selecting specific colors. Texture scanner. No, not export. Save. Save as. Okay. There's that. Okay. So we're done with this now. Now I'm going to do the gear, which is practically the same thing. Just a lot more boring. ID. Tone. Okay. Once again, nothing's over here. No subsurface gathering, so I don't really need to keep this anymore. Delete layer mask. Get this out of the blue channel. That's what we're looking for. ID texture that we need. Copy that. Paste that. Put it below the albedo. Now you get the tone texture. Once again, let's go to the green channel. Take that and duplicate this layer. Add layer mask. Paste that down. Duplicate it again. Duplicate it again. Then invert layer mask. Duplicate it one more time. Make this overlay. And then export under the same name in final textures. Okay. Go back to the image editor. Here, year A, replace and final textures. Year A. Alright, there's that. Here's our hat. This will be a lot more easier since you can really see the difference now. It's just 4 colors really. One for the base of the hat, the leather, the cloth, and the metal in the back. Easy. So I'm going to start off with the hat here. Select this range. I think it's either this or this. Let me check actually. It's that. Okay. Here, yada, same process as usual. For these lighter colors. Now, for the color in between. Export that. Reload. Alright, there's that. Now for the next one. Hold on 1 second. Next darkest color is over here. What is that actually? I think that's the inside? Like, no. This, that. Yeah, it's this part actually. I never actually paid attention to that. Wait 1 second, let me. No problem, no problem. Same as everything else. For this and this. So I was actually wrong. It wasn't 4 colors. It was 5 colors. Oh man. Export that. Now this should be okay. There it is. Now to get the next ones. This would be this area right here. This is the leather, I think. No, it's not the leather. This is something else completely different, I think. No. Cloth, leather, and then the metal. Okay. I figured it out. Alright. So this would be over here. For what 4 next colors. Okay. I'm gonna see about not reloading this time. See if I was correct. Might actually been wrong. Might have not been. Alright. For this. There's that. Now for the cloth bit. That's just gray. So let's keep on going until we find something gray. Or is it metal? The metal would be over here. So I think it's this color. I think. Not 100% sure, but I think. For this. Okay. One in between. Yeah, I think that was it. Alright. How to get the metallic area? This would be over here. Four. Let's go with a little bit lighter for this one. It's a lot of back and forth work. It's not fun at all. I'm just doing this for the sake of helping, you know. Export that. Let's see the final result. And there we go. This is in metal now. Right, and then it's the black letter area. Right. So it's slowly but assuredly coming together now. Overall, no issues so far. By the way, you might be wondering, why is this area so flat compared to over here, I think? Yeah. No, I was wrong. Over here. These are micro normals, micro diffuse textures as well. MK11 uses both. Adds a little bit more detail. I'll go over that in the next part. Right about now, I just want to get the coloring done because it's the longest part compared to everything else. It's so long. Okay, we're done with that now, so I'll go ahead and save for future editing. Remove that. This is all being done with one color palette texture. Only one. I have to get to her things here. ID. Tone. Add layer mask. Transfer. Delete layer mask. Extract component. Blue channel. Okay. Copy that. Paste underneath. Get the green channel. The tone texture. Copy that. Duplicate the ID. Add layer mask. Transfer alpha. This. Duplicate one more time. Duplicate again. Invert the layer mask. Duplicate it. Fine. And overlay. Now to export this back over here. Export it. Now to select this area. It's invisible because it has an alpha. And gear 01 replace with this. Okay. You can see every individual layer here. The darkest one is over here, or is it over here? No, they're the same. Alright. So. Ooh. Okay. Let's get this out the way. This would be starting off with this because it's not silk, so let's not go with that color. Okay, 4, 4. Let's go a little bit lighter, just in case. Okay, 4, 4. And there is the first part done. Export that. Refresh. There it is. Okay, so next color is, by the way, this is black. I'm gonna leave that as is for now. This is where the emission is. It doesn't even matter if you know, add a layer on that. I'll do that last for now, but since it's glowing, it's not gonna be visible either way. Right, so now it's this area. Next arc is color, then the metal is next. Doesn't seem so difficult looking at it that way. Right, okay. If I'm correct, it's the lighter one. Let me go ahead and check. Right, yep, lighter, okay. You know, I should have a second monitor where I have those shots, so I don't have to keep on to open them up, but unfortunately I don't have a second monitor. There ain't nothing wrong with that, right? Right. For that. Okay, let's check it out. Reload. There it is. That leaves me with 3 more to fill out. This, and this. 2 different colors of metal. Let's get the leather out. So that would be right over here. Remember, the gear pieces are at the bottom, while the main skin is at the top. I know I was, for a second there, just doing both. It's just because there's no differences. So it wouldn't make a difference selecting either one. Four again, right? Four. There's that. I don't really need to reload to see that now. Can easily tell what's up. Okay. To find the next metallic color over here. You all know which part is metal, because usually it's either the most dull color or the brightest one. Easy to figure out. 4. Let's get some contrast going in, so let's go a little bit further. And 4 right here. Alright. Now for the last part, over here. Right after this one, over here. Like that. Let's get a little bit more contrast going on, so I'll go a little bit further now. So 4, I'll start off over here. Okay. Now for the final color here, let's get a little bit lighter. And let's check it all out now. It's very ugly. But that's exactly how it's colored. Let me just make sure one more time. Yeah, and it's exactly that dull. Grinded, really. And now I need to make sure of one thing. This is completely black, alright? If you were to get this color out without the detail, it would be down here. This little HTML notation, pay attention to that because that's the color that doesn't have a range. What you can do is just duplicate this, add a layer mask, and just make sure it's selection. And it just basically, let me go remove the overlay, normal, alright. It just makes it so that that doesn't get affected by everything else. So ultimately now, instead of just being completely black, it's gray. Oh, by the way, forgot to mention something. All the way back here is the emission color. Alright, sometimes it's two tones, sometimes it's only one. The gear color is down here, and the skin emission is over here. Since there's no emission on Sonya's skin, it's black, but since her gear has that color, get that, okay, and put that into Blender. It's basically the same thing, no difference really. Yeah, there is that, and I'm practically done. The entire bottle is colored now. So that only leaves a couple more things to do. On the next part, I'm going to explain certain material types, because I'm going to go ahead and highlight which is which and why you should care. Let me just remove the bones. This is silk, alright? So in the material files, if you go ahead and take a look inside, you'd notice each one is separated by some sort of material. This is silk, this is metal, this is skin. Note how I didn't put a skin shader or anything yet. I want to do that last. This is, hold on. This, hold on. Which one is this? That's leather. Okay. So I can leave that as is, and this is cloth. Okay. I'm going off of memory, but this is exactly how it was like. So this hat as well. This is velvet. Wrong name. I named the model parts after the materials. This is just that, and this is cloth. Hold on. 018 cloth. I had caps lock on. Sorry. Okay. Same deal here. Although I think it's slightly different. No. Okay. And this is metal. Wrong gear name, by the way. I really need to pay attention more. I'm like very tired from doing all that. And there's that. I'll show off how to edit them to be like their in-game counterparts, but for now, let me just show off exactly what I meant. If you're going to go here in this materials, that text file, and you looked up sun skin A, go down. You first see these, of course. Not what I meant to show off. Keep going down. Material instance. Constant template. Starts off here. This is the base skin. And then after that, it's a bunch of instance materials. This is cloth, metal, and then there's silk. And then there's the skin shader, and that's pretty much it. Every MK11 model is separated into different material types. There is cloth, velvet, silk, emission, skin. And some characters have these special shaders like Sonya. She has a gem shader instead. I'm only going to show off Sonya's, but I might show off the other characters too if I get their files in time. Anyways, next part, we will be doing the basic materials. Materials that I consider to be basic but somewhat advanced. The eye shader is kind of complex, not too complex. I'll show off how I do skin, and the hair shader is a unique case because it's kind of fucky, to be honest. Sorry for swearing there, but like it's very messy because it's specifically made for EV, not for cycles. This whole thing I'm doing here is all EV stuff. You wouldn't use the ambient occlusion node for cycles. It works differently compared to EV. It doesn't work the same way. Like, you know how the ambient occlusion texture is being used here? Yeah, it wouldn't look like that in cycles. I'm pretty sure it's kind of different. I'm too afraid to check right now because, you know, I got everything working here so far. Just save one more time. Alright. So I'm going to end it here, and tomorrow I'll see about uploading how to finish the rest of the materials. Sorry for the long part today, but I wanted to show off in detail how I colored these models. They take a while, as you can see. Sometimes you can mess up in between. You know, nobody's perfect. You're never going to get the best result the first time. It takes a couple of tries, you know, it's trial and error. It's a lot of trial and error. What's important is that you at least enjoy it, because you'll get bored of it very fast. You'll lose concentration, you'll get very tired. It's very tasking. I'm only doing this because I'm not sure if anybody has seen this, but in DeviantArt, you've ever seen some of those models are just like colored really off. Like, you look at it and compare it to the game skins, and it's just like, why does this look so bland, so flat in comparison? It's mostly just because they don't use those detail maps. They don't use the other textures, or the colors I meant, within the palette textures. I'm hoping that somebody at least sees this and understands how this works. For now, remember, there are other image editors you can use. I prefer to use GIMP because I've used it the most, but yeah, use whatever you want. I don't really care. Skip around and just find something that fits your workflow. Anyways, this is where I head off.